So what's going on, you guys? So back once again to talk to you guys about don't be April's fool with your finances. All right, don't be April's fool with your finances. I get a lot of people, myself and my wife, get a lot of people telling me that they give me a statement, right? When I ask them about have they protected their wealth, have they protected their life, do they have insurance on their wealth, do they have insurance on their life? They say, yeah, I'm straight. I got life insurance. I got that. I have coverage. I'm good. Okay, cool. You got coverage. You good. All right. I just did a video about when people say I have coverage through work. All right, so go back and look at that one. But this is when people say they have something personally on their own, right, outside of work. So I have coverage. I'm good. Okay, cool. One of the main things that people don't understand when they say I have coverage, I'm good, is that they truly don't understand exactly what they have. Not saying anybody out there is slow or just unknowledgeable or whatever, unknowledgeable, pronunciate your words, buddy. But a lot of people just don't understand exactly what they have, okay? So, what do you have? And what do your parents have? I see this so often where the kids, assume that their parents still have coverage, or, the parents assume that the kids have coverage. But truly, both of them probably don't have anything. Okay, so if something happens to the parents and the kid, the parent told the kid years and years ago, yeah, I got coverage. I got something outside of work. I'm good. If something happened to me, I'm cool. But what if that parent, lost track of that policy, or something happened to their bank account? They don't have that account anymore with that bank, and that policy hasn't been paid, or they moved locations and they didn't keep track of it, and that policy lapsed on them, right? So you have to know what you have, what your parents have. You just have to know. Just have to know, right? Um, Now, how long does a term policy last? We're gonna talk about term insurance because a lot of people get this confused or don't understand it. A term policy is going to last usually 10, 20, or 30 years, right? There's some that last longer than that, but we're going to go off the basis with most insurance carriers. It's going to last you 10, 20, or 30 years, okay? So you have to understand that. Now, one of the problems is people get this paperwork from the insurance person, and sometimes the insurance person isn't doing anything bad. They just don't know what the hell they're doing. So they'll bring this packet and sit down with the client and, you know, go through it. Yeah, you see, you got this 30-year policy. I mean, they won't even say 30-year policy. They'll say, yeah, you see, this policy is going to last you for the rest of your life, right? But if you really look at it, it's going to last 10, 20, or 30 years. But on a piece of paper, it's showing that it goes until maybe they're 100, right? But what they're not explaining is after these certain time frames, after that 10th year, let's just say, no, let's use 30 years. After that 30th year, on year 31, say you're paying $100 a month for this term policy and you got $1 million in coverage. Well, after that 30th year, if you want to continue this coverage, that $100 a month for $1 million is probably going to go to $600 a month, right? For just that 31st year. The 32nd year is probably going to go to $1,000 a month. See, after your term is up, your coverage every year is going to increase and increase because you only supposed to have it for a certain term. After that, you're going to be paying out the wazoo for that policy. So you have to know exactly what it is that you have, right? Does your policy last for 10, 20, or 30 years? With this term policy, you want to be in something that you can convert your policy to a permanent policy. There's companies out there that say buy term and invest the rest. Have no problem with that, right? Because somebody is getting insurance. You are getting insurance, but I'm buying this term policy that is going to end. You want me to invest the rest because investing the rest is supposed to take care of this term policy once it ends. But how many people out there are sitting with this person to make sure that they've invested this money the right way? How many? Please tell me. Waiting. How many of these people are really truly making sure that the money is invested the right way, and even if it's in some investment that is going to replace this term policy. So you want to check, because that company, that term policy is just going to end. You can't convert it. You really want to have a policy where you can convert it to a permanent policy. So before the 10, 20, 30 years, where you can convert that policy to something that's permanent. Okay? That's really what you want to have. All right? Then do you have accelerated or living benefits with your policy? So accelerated and living benefits, they're riders. Most companies call them accelerated benefit riders. Some companies call them living benefits, right? What is that? It's under chronic, critical, and terminal. You like, Leonard, what are you talking about, man? Make this make sense. All right. So how many of you know people that have had a heart attack or a stroke or have a bad form of diabetes or cancer or something like that? That's where your living benefits come into play. Most companies only have terminal. So terminal means that you go to a doctor and you get diagnosed with something, the doctor is telling you you're going to pass away in 24 months. Some companies is 36 months, but most of them 24 months. You got 2 years to live. All right. So what do? You can get a portion of their death benefit. What did I say earlier? $100 a month, $1 million in coverage, right? So now you get access to that $1 million while you're still alive. But remember, you're going to pass away in 24 months. So you can go do whatever you want to with that $1 million. Go on a trip, go do this, try to seek some medical help. You can do whatever you want to. But that's terminal. That's what most of these term policies have, only terminal. Chronic and critical, those are to really help you while you're still alive. So critical is, like I was talking about, stroke, cancer, heart disease. Those are things that it's like, okay, you're going to you got a health condition. You're going to battle this health condition, but you're going to make it. More than likely, you're going to make it. Okay. That's critical. You get a portion of your death benefit on that. Chronic is if you can't perform 2 of the 6 acts of daily living, right? So going to the bathroom by yourself, washing yourself in the shower or the bathtub, transferring room to room, eating, cleaning yourself if you have to go to the washroom, getting up and out the bed, moving room to room, things like that. There's 6 of them, 2 or 6. So if you can't do that, you get access to a portion of that money in your death benefit. So these are things that you need to know about, specifically term insurance, because so many people out there, and not to bash the people that, say buy term and invest the rest. I just wish more of them were really educating the client on exactly what they're getting into and really holding their hand to make sure that when that term policy is over with, that those investments turn into a lot more than what that term policy would have been worth. Because only a handful of those people out there are really truly benefiting from that buy term, invest the rest. Only a handful, not a lot. So you guys, you want to, once again, find out what you have, find out what your parents have. That is really important, because you don't want to be the person that parent or a loved one passed away and now you're doing GoFundMe. All right. How long does it last? Because you want to be with a company where you can convert it before the policy ends in those 10, 20, or 30 years, right? You want to convert it to a permanent policy. Converting is based off of your age, not off of your health, which is a very good thing. And you want to make sure that you have chronic, critical, and terminal included in your policies. Most companies only give terminal, which is you're going to pass away in 2 years. Listen, you guys, if y'all want more information, reach out to me. Legendary Legacy Group, LLG@gmail is the email address. Or you can go on the website, legendarylegacygroup.com. Book yourself a consultation. We can talk. We can, give you some information that you might not have heard of before. All right. You guys have a great rest of your day and be blessed.